Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. Hey there, folks. My name is Brad Varnell, and this is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. And today we are doing our token teaser segment, and I am super excited to introduce a project to you that my son, Joshua, just came across very recently. But after looking at it for the last couple of days, we are super excited about the real world utility and how this project is changing people's lives. And I've got the CEO of Synternet with me here today, Daniel Dan Shield. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time today.
Hi, Brad. Great to be here. Really happy.
Awesome, man. Great to have you. I think I'm going to have to give my son a raise, man. He's just doing some fantastic things. He's finding some fantastic projects. He's also a graphic designer, so he is responsible for the branding here, at the bottom of the page, which I think really adds a little, a pretty cool little aspect to the video. So I want to give him a quick shout out. But so, thank you for coming on to the show. Maybe just, introduce yourself a little bit to my viewers, a little bit about your background, when you got involved in crypto, and then, how Synternet came to be.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, thanks a lot again for the opportunity to talk to you about what we do. We are super excited about it, because we have this kind of sort of deep rooted belief in the creator economy and Web3 in general. So I'm super happy when we do get a chance to talk to people about it. So my name is Daniel. I'm the CEO of Synternet. Synternet is a layer 1 on Cosmos chain, and we are a streaming data layer 1. So we provide internet Web3 data for projects, but we do it in a slightly different way than most people get their data. Yeah, about me, I'm Swiss. I was born in Basel, been traveling all over the world. I kind of did my tour of duty in financial services as a partner at Ernst & Young. And after that, I moved to the Crypto Valley in Switzerland in 2015 or 2014, and I got into crypto back then. And it was I couldn't ever go back to global corporate banking after I saw the beauty and the pristine cleanness of the UTXO and Bitcoin, and I was hooked. Right, I was in there. We then did the first project within Big Four to take payments in cryptocurrency. We put a Bitcoin ATM in our lobby. We had, we made a wallet for all EY stakeholders. And at that time, the price was like $400 or $500. So it made everybody really, really scared at Ernst & Young. I then kind of realized that I probably couldn't realize my dreams working in blockchain within a Big Four audit firm. And I left to become the CEO of our telco blockchain arm, so Swisscom Blockchain. And I've been working in infrastructure, sort of ever since 2015 in blockchain, on the blockchain side.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Synternet. And, it sounds like it got started in the fairly recent past, and it's really poised to take advantage of, what we believe is going to be, an amazing bull market over the next 3, 6, 9 months.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to think like, so we're taking a slightly safe route when we talk about infrastructure. And therefore, you obviously have right now, lots of fun things going on with meme coins and all this great stuff, right? But at some point you have to look at the infrastructure, and you realize that we're at a very similar inflection point as we were with the internet itself, the Web 2 stuff, where people were sort of still individually logging on to individual sites, and they would sort of type in www.ibm.com, and then they would go to their IBM stuff. And then along comes America Online and Netscape Navigator, and then all of a sudden you get made fun of if you still type in your URL. And what happened, right? You got a portal, and this portal was able to connect all these websites and your favorites and your links, and you didn't have to type it in or remember them. And it was amazing because you went through one space and had all of the internet in front of you. And we're in a similar space. If you think about like how we log on to different chains, if you're on chain and you're a crypto degen, no matter, even if you're a light crypto degen, you still kind of have at least an Ethereum account. You're probably stacking Satoshis on your Bitcoin wallet, right? Which you keep on your Trezor. And then you probably have a ledger with some altcoins on there, and maybe if you're lucky you have a Solana somewhere else, so you're already have this kind of multi-chain presence. And just like in the internet days, you literally get your wallet out and you do your on-chain things and you go away and do something else, right? And I'm telling you now that it's bad data infrastructure that is making the user experience so painful, right? And that data infrastructure is because 95% of most crypto projects out there get their infrastructure through technology that was invented in the 50s, right? So they use RPC technology, which is request reply based, when they say, and somebody has to kind of take all the internet data, store it, index it, make it ready for query, and then you can ask it like, hey, can you tell me what the Bitcoin price is? We don't do that. We use a technology called NATS, and we stream the data directly from the nodes, from trusted node runners and validators. Some of the best companies in the world that are running, like Ant Alpha, daughter company of the biggest mining company in the world. These companies know how to run infrastructure, and they stream it directly to your app in milliseconds, and it's trustless. It's super fast, and it's much easier to work with.
Awesome. So it sounds like Synternet is actually, helping mainstream and adoption to happen by making some of these things a little bit easier accessible for the average ordinary folks.
Yeah, well, I mean, so we are a decentralized physical infrastructure project that offers a data layer, an alternative, to either running your own nodes and kind of putting some engineers aside to do that, or to use a centralized source, which kind of breaks one of the basic tenets of Web3, right? Like, decentralization, right? So. Right. We have this, so we provide that infrastructure, and that infrastructure is used by projects who, like most of the kids that are coming into the Web3 world these days, right? Like in the last bull run, they kind of were looking at, like, you're an Ethereum guy, or you're a Cosmos guy, or you're a Cardano guy, right? And then you had these kind of almost like religious cults like that. Yep. And with every bull run, there's another million programmers that come in, and developers, right? And our job right now is to get into their eyeballs, and because they don't care like what religion your granddaddy was, right? In Ethereum or whatever, they see all of Web3 as a technology to do stuff with, and they should, right? This is one soup pot, and therefore you quickly realize that every project right now has to be cross-chain. Every project has to have an understanding of what's happening to the left and to the right of it, and as soon as you get cross-chain with what you're trying to build or do, you run into the data challenge, right? And that's where we come in.
Awesome. So this is one of the websites that you had pulled up. Is now a good time to maybe go through a little bit of the stuff that you wanted to show the viewers here?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So this is just, we're backed by some of the greatest companies out there. We've been building this for a while, right? So we've got like 17 patents on like data architecture and actually making the internet a faster place. That's how we can consistently deliver data really fast. But what did this? These are slides to amaze and boggle the mind, and you can see kind of what we are, right? So like you can scale a global product, with your Web3 app on any chain, cross chain. Without having to really think about running infrastructure, and it scales as your app scales, and it's super easy to do, right? So that's really what what I'd love to show you is just how easy it is. So we could maybe jump into what it looks like if something goes around. Now this is a bit technical, but I'm not a coder, so you can see. So this is our basic screen here, right? Now you have to imagine that blockchains produce a lot of data, right? So the Bitcoin price is based on, node and transaction data that are being sent into blocks and written into blocks. So you have header data, you have block data, you have message data, you have log data, and some blockchains produce a lot of data, and some blockchains are very efficient, like Bitcoin's very efficient, but Solana produces something like 14 terabytes a day in data.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. And you, if you don't know how to manage the account structures on something like Solana, then it gets very, very difficult, right? Because you're drinking like a tsunami of data. And so you have to be able to work with these things and filter them. So if you want to like somehow kind of immediately, so we have data stream here that you can subscribe to, and you can see we've got a whole bunch of 10 pages of different streams, and each one of these is basically a blockchain. I've assembled a project over here, and I've added some data streams that I've got. I've got Osmosis, I've got DYDX, I've got Ethereum, and I've got Bitcoin. So 4 completely different blockchains, all kind of streaming. When I jump into the product, I can connect my wallet and I can immediately see the data already streaming. Coming down here, I can filter these streams, I can then compose them. And this is every piece of information on the blockchain. So if I'm looking for wallet addresses, or if I'm looking for individual, I'm going to slow it down a bit because it's going super fast. But if I take like just one, you can see this is all the kind of stuff that we know, all the nonces and the hashes that make products. So this is what you need as a developer. You say like, okay, I want a wallet app that notifies me when something happens. So I'm watching this smart contract. Tell me when the price goes above $10, right? That's something you would do, right? And then you could once you've done kind of assembling the data, you could integrate it here with Rust, WebSockets, Python, Golang, or whatever else, right? And this is permissionless. Anybody can come and do it. It's trustless, it's decentralized, and it's run by, like nobody can stop you from using the data here and doing what you need to do. And it works, really kind of on cents to the dollar for any centralized solution. So why? So what? So I talk to a lot of investors, and they're like, so what? You built a super fast data platform. So well, the cool thing is that once you take this project and then you kind of preview, like you show what it can do, because we're so fast, right? And because this is kind of a new way of doing things, you end up with something like that's similar to this, right? And what this is what we call ghost candlesticks. So we look into the mempool of different blockchains on different dexes, and you can see the sentiment, just of the transactions as they come into the memory pool. Haven't even been written to block yet. So, and you can see how fast, these transactions are going, and you can get an overall sentiment. So this is like, unless you're running nodes and know what to look for and know how to filter it out. And this is running on Uniswap V3 or V2 here on a whole bunch of different pairs, right? So this kind of speed, like if you're trading or if you're doing something in DeFi or DEXs, and this kind of speed is unheard of, right? Unless you happen to have a couple of data scientists running for you. We had 40 data scientists build this, and it's absolutely fantastic. So it opens up a whole new world of possibilities in apps, in trading, in gaming, in anything you do in Web3, and it should, hopefully, if we're good at it, be used as the basic standard of building apps in the future. So it should impact everybody.
Yeah, that looks amazing. How is the ease of use for, somebody like me? I'm 51 years old, maybe not the most computer savvy, person like like today's 20-year-old. Would I be able to hop in here and figure out how to use this software to my benefit fairly easily?
So at the moment, so we've only been live, like we went live on chain in July 31st. We brought in a bunch of validators. We've got some amazing validators. It's a completely decentralized chain, and the chain's been running amazing. We haven't had any issues. So right now, we have the first people building the first professional, fully decentralized apps on here, and you will be able to access those imminently, directly from something more that is a little bit more consumer based. Right now, our target is mostly developer projects that kind of run into the space and say, we're looking at a $260,000 bill from Alchemy or Morales or QuickNodes, and we give it to them sort of 10% of the price, but 1,000 times faster. So that's where it comes. Now, if you will get a couple things, probably really soon. Like I'm hoping that there's a couple products that will actually have out almost imminently, and like one of them is something like, it's kind of like the MasterCard commercials, like, how much is it worth? And it's, it's like, well, it's only cost 99 cents a month, but this is a monitor that's going to monitor 2 chains at the same time, and it's going to look for anomalies, and then it's going to send you a notification if something's wrong. And where do you use this? Well, a lot of people are wrapping Bitcoin to try to take some of that liquidity out of the Bitcoin blockchain and put it into other chains. But that's the kind of thing that like can go horribly wrong. So if you remember Terra Luna, if you remember some of these depeggings of wrapped currencies, having that comfort that you get a text message if some anomaly starts working on this, and if you have a relatively decent holding in this, that's probably worth 99 cents a month or what you do. And this is an example of a real life product that we have, that we're building right now. So that's quite exciting, and you will be able to use that, and you'll be able to set it up for yourself, and it'll be really easy actually.
Would have been worth 99 or 999 a month to me back during this last, bear market with Voyager and Celsius and Terra Luna and all of the stuff that happened. It sounds like it could definitely, save people a lot of money and a lot of heartache.
Yeah, exactly. And why, so why did those things start coming apart? Why? And they didn't fall apart instantly, right? If you look over the history, like I had people that would, they went to bed in European time, they woke up $30 million less, right? And entire projects stopped working because of that. And it's a tragedy, right? You have like everything was perfect, right? They put their money into a stable coin, they went to bed, woke up, and the project's dead, right? Like all the investors are disappointed. That shouldn't happen, right? That really and it's not being addressed by all the people looking for compliance and KYC and AML, these kind of things that happen without that. So what's the next best thing? Well, the next best thing is like, if this happens, tell me, right? And tell me right away, and give me actionable information. And you won't get actionable information if you're using technology from the 50s, right? You'll get information that gets to you when somebody else has indexed it, and when somebody else has looked at it. And when you look back over these data feeds and you look at the times when these sort of really major events happen, then sometimes these data feeds are like 15 to 20 minutes long because somebody's looking at it and going, oh my God, you see what's happening? And then there's a lag, and then they put a stop on it because they think the data is actually wrong and they need to check it. So you're sitting there in the dark while you should be getting information like, hey, what's happening with Luna? Did you see? I didn't see anything. No, this feed's been stuck for 15 minutes, right? And that's because it's a centralized provider, because it's all being captured by one server somewhere sitting on somebody's cloud, and it's being pre-chewed for you, right? And that goes against like every fiber of the creator economy in Web3. So we want to put a stop to that. We've got something that does it a lot faster.
Awesome. I love it. And then I want to, share, this is your website here for folks that want to come take a little bit closer look. It's Synternet.com. A lot of incredible information that you can look at here about Synternet. And I also would like to highlight, where would you like the viewers that are watching this, that are interested in learning more and want to support you and become a part of your community? I know you have a nice, a big Twitter channel. Do you want them to go to Twitter and Telegram? Where would you like the viewers to come check you out at?
Yeah, come find us. I mean, if you click on that black button on the top where it says Developer Portal,
yep,
you're right there on the screens that I was showing before. Yeah, you can take a couple of synths and you can go and there you go. You can see the data streams. You load up your wallet. We're on Cosmos so you need a Kepler wallet. But it's super easy to start working with. So that's definitely, I mean, this is permissionless, decentralized streaming data. Anybody can go in there and
Discord here.
Exactly. You've got all our socials there. The Discord is, so we're right now we're starting, you know, like we believe that developers are all over the world, and that's the economy we want to foster. So right now we're working with the super teams. So we're working with Solana. We love Solana because Solana is big data and we do big data fast. So we're working with super teams, which is Solana's developer groups, and they're like 32,000 Solana developers that are members of the super teams community, and they're all over the world, right? So they're in Vietnam, they're in Philippines, they're in Thailand, they're in India, they're in the USA, they're in Turkey, you know, they're in Brazil, and we have a $10,000 USDC prize that's going in the Solana Radar Hackathon, which is open until the 8th of October. We've made a couple Solana data streams available for, as well as Ethereum and Bitcoin for free for anybody developing on them. And, you know, you can find all of that information on Discord. So Discord is really, if you want to get into the chatter, if you want to talk about doing something technologically, then join us on Discord. If you want to come and join the community and just chit chat about general things, you'll find us on Telegram as well. I'm on LinkedIn as well, but, you know, the worst way to probably get a hold of me is email.
Okay.
But you can definitely still find me anywhere else. It's just that my emails have been corrupted by too many conventions like Token 49 and things like that.
Right?
Yeah.
I totally understand. And then, you know, let's just switch gears for a quick second. You know, I wanted to kind of share the CoinGecko side of things for a quick second. And, you know, folks, this is where, you know, I got to do the disclaimer. Daniel and I, we are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice, folks. Do your own research, do your own due diligence. But one of the reasons that we decided to highlight this token was because we very much believe here, you know, at Infinite Crypto, that the marketplace, you know, is basically in control of, you know, what makes sense. Are people buying the token? Are people doing business? And I want you to see here something that I thought was very important. This company has already, you know, created a $43 million market cap in just a handful of months since they launched. That shows me that people like what they're doing. If you go into their Twitter, if you go into their Telegram groups, you see huge support. They have big communities, which is absolutely essential in all business, but especially in these cryptocurrency projects. Community is commerce. And we also believe here at Infinite Crypto that $43 million is just a absolute little teeny tiny drop in the bucket compared to what companies like Synternet that are going to be around for 5 years, 10 years, 25, 50 years, what the market caps can look like if you get involved in these projects early and you support them all the way through their growth. And so I also wanted to highlight here in the last 14 days, it's up 90%, which is incredible. And then last but not least, I like to show you where you can get a hold of this token. If you like what we've talked about today and you do your own research and you decide that you want to get some Synternet tokens, you can buy it just about anywhere. You can get it right there on Uniswap, decentralized right into your private MetaMask or however, you know, whatever private wallet you use. You can get it on KuCoin. You can get it on MEXC, CoinX. I mean, multiple exchanges. So you definitely will not have any trouble, you know, buying this token if you decide that you would like to invest in it. And Daniel, I know as the CEO, you have to be very, very careful. You can't talk about price. You can't talk about a lot of things. But is there anything on the CoinGecko page that you would like me to talk about, or anything that I missed that you would like to point out that you're, you know, comfortable sharing?
Yeah, I mean, I thanks for pointing those things out. I mean, it's really like it feels like giving birth when you have a go live of a chain. Like really, like, and there's so many things that could go wrong that we've managed to avoid. So it's nice when, you know, like there's other times in the market doesn't respond as well, right? Like and we've all been through those times. but we're cautiously optimistic. I think if you think about what we do, right, you just have to kind of put a couple of things in the room. One is that data itself has been exploding. Like there's so many more chains, there's so many more tokens. So if our commodity that we are using we have a gas for data economy, right? It's literally tokens for gigabytes, right? Tokens for gigabytes over time. Right now, most of the stuff that we shuffle is DeFi data, because that's where most of the stuff on the web is mostly about trading and margins and liquidity pools and those kind of things, right? But if you imagine that, like, okay, so gas for data, and then you look at like, okay, well, Ethereum went pretty big, but they're like gas for transactions. You imagine how much bigger actually all of gas for data is. Then you realize that, okay, we're kind of like, we're the guys selling shovels in the gold rush, because we're selling infrastructure to the guys who go into the hills and dig, and prospector A and B might not find it, right? But prospector C might find it. Either way, they're getting great shovels, right? And that's where we like to stay. That's a safe bet. Like we work a lot with real world assets like Peak and IOTEX, which also have a lot of broadcasting to do with their real world use cases. We try to stay on this on sort of the serious infrastructure side of things. So like I said, we have 17 patents, right? So this is kind of probably one of the more real, I think, deliveries of Web3 services that you'll find in sort of, before all the chaos comes in and everybody jumps back into crypto. You'll see a lot of fog. I think in the DePIN physical infrastructure side of things, it's a little bit more earthed, and that's exactly where we want to be, right? We're concentrating on real world growth, adoption, and getting better infrastructure to companies. So.
Absolutely. And I think you guys are just right smack dab in the right place at the right time. DePIN is one of the biggest narratives of this market. I know that AI and RWAs are also, doing very well, but I think DePIN is just right there with those as the top narratives and the things that are really, revolutionizing the world, the things that are taking blockchain technology, to mainstream mass adoption. And so I am excited to continue to, cover what you guys do. You're welcome to come back on the show anytime. So as you have new updates and exciting things, I know you mentioned a few things that you couldn't talk about, on this video yet. So as some of those things come to pass, let's definitely get you back on the channel. And once again, just thank you so much for being here. We will post the links to your Telegram and your Twitter and your Discord group also in the description of this video, so my community can come be a part of your community.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, no, really appreciate the opportunity to come talk about what we do. We've got, like I said, we've got our engineering teams, they all people are so passionate about what actually just looks like really boring, right? Like we look at, the green screen in the Matrix, and we can see, the woman in the red dress. But for us, it's super exciting to kind of talk to people that are excited about crypto, and want to have the opportunity to see some of the projects that are really kind of laying the foundation for what the next set of apps is going to be built on. They might not kind of stumble across what we do, but we do have to say, just to maybe in the last couple of seconds, like we do have a fun bone, right? We're doing a lot of stuff like with gaming apps as well. And also with, because it's a decentralized pub sub, like you can take Web2 scraping, so you can take social media scrapings and repositories of social medias, and then combine them with Web3 data. And you can do that completely on your own. That creates some incredibly powerful combinations, because you can kind of see the mentions of which meme coin is going to pop off with actual wallet movements, and then you can use in and layer in AI also to kind of look for trends. So in a similar way that you have, show me your last 3 credit card purchases, I can tell you what your next one's going to be. To like 75, 80% probability, works even better for crypto wallets. If you have Bored Ape and you've got a CryptoPunk, right? I can probably tell you if you're going to buy my, my meme coin or not. And what we offer is the ability to sort of know when these users are online, regardless of which chain they're working on and regardless of which wallet, right? And so that opens up, the user behind this fragmented industry, and allows you to kind of get in touch with those people. And that's created some amazing things for games, right? Where the games are trying to figure out which states, which accomplishments have one person done within the game versus others, and kind of broadcast those state mechanisms all the time to see who's reached level 10 and level 20, and you get these kind of really almost like proof of attendance kind of protocols that are working cross-chain. It's fantastic stuff that's coming, right? And it's going to be so much less like bulky and clumsy than, sort of previous, Telegram and, logging on to 5 different chains. So we're super excited and we'd love the opportunity to come talk about it again. We do have some really exciting stuff coming up in the fall. So, love to do this again if we get the chance.
Awesome, man. I definitely look forward to it. And we'll talk off screen. I'm actually very close with a couple of gaming projects, and it sounds like I need to connect you guys together and see if there's some synergy there and if it might be a good fit for what you do.
Yeah, one of the things, mention lookalike communities to them, right? So one of the things that our data is really good at is, I know my gamer likes Alien Worlds. I'd like to introduce him to a community that he might like as well, right? What lookalike community do we have in the near universe that would be similar, or Tone, where a lot of games are going? So, and we can target those lookalike communities and get, know when the gamers are online and airdrop them, right? When, so these are all things that are possible with fast data. So yeah, gaming is one of, it's definitely going to be the one that probably, lights the fire under, whatever happens next. Is gaming is going to be part of it. So that's going to be kind of add a little bit of fun to it for Friday, right? It's Friday today. So
yeah, absolutely. Awesome, Daniel. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all for watching the video. Have a fantastic day, and we will see you again very soon. Take care.